Hello everyone. Welcome to the class of E-Plan, an electrical control technology. In the previous study, we know that most symbols representing electrical components can be found in the symbol library provided by E-Plan. But some cannot. For example, some switch power supplies are frequency converters. In this case, there are two solutions. The first one is to build our own symbol library and add more symbols in the library as required. However, this method is not recommended since it is complicated to build a symbol library, and after a crash caused by an error in building the library, the system is difficult to recover. The second solution is to use the black box tool provided by E-Plan. What is a black box? A black box consists of graphic elements that represent symbols for certain equipment. Black box is usually used to describe symbols that do not exist in the standard symbol library or to combine some symbols. The concept of black box was introduced by E-Plan to deal with insufficient symbols in the symbol library. Therefore, the symbol plus black box can represent any electrical component. The application scenarios of black box in the electrical design process are as follows. 1. Describe equipment or accessory symbols not available in the symbol library. 2. Describe the incomplete equipment or accessories in the symbol library. 3. Indicate PLC subassemblies. 4. Describe a complex device, such as a frequency converter. 5. Describe some special protective equipment. After understanding the concept and application of black box, let's learn how to draw a switch power supply symbol with black box. The symbol of switch power supply for PLC does not exist in the E-Plan symbol library, so it needs to be drawn manually. The specific operation steps are as follows.
First, create a drawing page and name it as Black Box. Click Insert, Box/Connection Point/Mounting Plate in the menu bar. Select Black Box or click the Black Box button directly on the toolbar. Draw a rectangle in the drawing area to represent the black box and the name is U1 by default. Click OK. Then enter the black box name DC Power Supply in the black box with text tools. Click OK and place it at an appropriate position in the black box. If the font size is not suitable, double-click the text to modify it in the format to 5 mm and click OK. Next, click the single side button of Equipment Connection Point in the toolbar. Insert connection points L, N, and P continuously above the black box and insert connection points 24 volts and 0 volts continuously below the black box. We've made a DC power supply using Blackbox. Finally, we can save the finished Blackbox as a macro file for later use. The specific method is as follows. Select the graphic, then right-click to create a window macro. Change the file name to DC Power Supply in the pop-up Save As dialog box. Select the PLC Colored Light Control folder on the computer desktop for save location and click Save. Remember to click Define Reference Point in Additional. And click OK to complete the saving of the macro file.
Okay, we have learned the drawing method of black box. Next, let's learn how to draw PLC box. First, let's understand what a PLC box is. PLC box is used by ePlan to describe the hardware of PLC system. Examples are digital I/O cards, analog I/O cards, power supply units, communication modules, bus units, and topologies. The application of PLC box is to draw the graphics of each module related to PLC system. There are two ways to draw various PLC modules in ePlan. One is to download the ready-made PLC macros provided by the manufacturer, and the other is to use the PLC box on the ePlan toolbar to draw it yourself. Then customize the internal connection points and simultaneously add parts in the parts library. With both PLC box and Blackbox, we can draw the required graphics by customizing internal connection points. However, the essential difference between them is that the PLC box has the function of automatic programming, while the Blackbox does not. Therefore, it is recommended to use PLC box when making PLC module graphics. Let's use PLC box to draw PLC digital input-output module for the schematic diagram of this project. The specific operation steps are as follows.
First, create a PLC box page. Click Insert, Box, PLC Box in the menu bar, or directly click the PLC Box button in the toolbar to insert the PLC box at a suitable position in the drawing area. The name is A1 by default. Next, insert the power supply for PLC. There are two power connection points of PLC box, namely PLC card power and PLC power. Card power refers to the external power supply for PLC, while PLC power is also called PLC connection point power, which means that PLC supplies power to external modules or equipment. What we need to insert is the card power that externally supplies power to PLC. Click the PLC card power button directly in the toolbar. Insert power terminals L plus M PE and 1M above the PLC box. and insert power terminals 4L plus and 4M below to complete the drawing of power terminals. Next, insert PLC digital input terminal. Click Insert Box in the menu bar to find the PLC connection point digital input, or directly click the PLC connection point digital input button on the toolbar. Insert the input terminal at the upper end of the PLC box. And the PLC box will automatically assign the address I0.0. If necessary, you can modify it directly below the address and click OK. Insert I0.1 with the same method and click OK. Next, draw the PLC output terminal. Click the PLC connection point digital output terminal on the toolbar. Insert the terminal below the PLC box, and the PLC box will automatically assign the address Q0.0 and click OK. Next, right-click Q0.0 terminal. Select Multiple Copy. First select a base point, then determine the distance between each terminal. Fill in the number of copies as 7 and click OK. Select Number in the pop-up dialog box and click OK. In this way, 7 output terminals are duplicated at one time. The connection point codes of the multiple terminal copies are the same. If you want to modify them, you need to box select terminals. Then right-click and select Table, Format, Editing. In the pop-up table, we can batch modify the connection point codes and PLC addresses at the same time, which is very convenient and quick. After modification, click Close to save. Finally, use the text tool in the graphics toolbar to fill in the CPU module information. So that the whole graphic module is drawn. In order to facilitate future call, we save the drawn PLC module as a macro file. Method. Select the whole graphic. Right-click to select Create Window Macro. Fill in the file name as PLC Input Output Card in the pop-up Save As dialog box. Click the extension followed. Modify the save path as PLC Colored Light Control folder on computer desktop. Click Save. add Define Reference Point, and click OK. In this way, the macro file is created.
In this lesson, we focus on the drawing methods of black box and PLC box. Through learning, we know that black box is used to draw symbols not in ePlan's symbol library, while PLC box is specifically used as a tool for drawing PLC hardware system. Both have been widely used in the process of drawing schematic diagram of PLC control system. I hope you can practice more after class to get familiar with and master these two drawing methods. Okay, that's all for today. See you next time.